It just seems like yesterday when we here at Explore Tulsa were all excited about the first day of summer. Here we are just a couple of weeks away from the beginning of fall.
Well, look at the bright side. Football season is kicking off. Halloween and Christmas will be here before you know it.
You know what I'm gonna ask Santa for?
What's that?
More summer.
Well, then you're in luck because we've got a few of our Grand Lake friends to take us out for some fun water sports one last time.
It's really the easiest water sport, in my opinion, to pick up. It's a lot easier than skiing or wakeboarding as far as learning. My grandmother lived on a lake when I was a small child. And I remember as about a 10-year-old thinking, I would love to live in a place like this when I grew up.
I grew up on this lake. My grandma and granddad came here in 1946. And my grandmother taught me how to ski behind a 14-foot Richline aluminum boat with an old 1962 Johnson Ski King.
I got introduced at water skiing at a very young age. Actually, whenever my dad would go skiing, I'd be in the crib in the front seat of the boat.
The crib was actually just a car seat, and I would just strap it in to the Mastercraft and away we'd go.
First time I got up on skis, I was about 5 years old. But always been around the water, been around watching my dad ski.
We'd always go down and get our skis from Leroy, and he sold me this Conley about 30 years ago, and it was a great ski. It fit well, and so I just kept on skiing on it. It's a good ski.
I've never actually been up close, like in a boat, and actually seen it, but once I saw Charlie do it, I was like, oh, I gotta try that. That's awesome.
About 4 years ago, at a charity auction for a local charity, we bought a surf package that included a surfboard and some lessons. And he said, oh, whenever we do these, we always sell a boat, so I love to do it. And she said, famously, oh, you won't ever sell us a boat. And then a friend of mine who happened to be selling boats at the time called me opportunistically and said, hey, Charlie, I've got use of a brand new surf boat all day long. You guys want to go surfing? And I said, well, sure. So we went and we surfed all day long with all of our best friends, and by the end of the day, I had decided we have to find a boat.
I picked up wake surfing from Charlie, and I was in on that excursion with the brand new boat for the whole day, and we just went out and absolutely fell in love with it.
As often as my wife will allow me, I will surf.
We really didn't know what we were doing. I mean, they had one lesson, but that's like taking one lesson in golf and then trying to go out and play. I mean, we were just learning as we went.
Make sure your feet are on the board and keep your balance, and especially don't throw all your weight on the back. Make sure it's kind of, that's your brake and you go forward, you put more pressure on your front. And just having Charlie as a teacher is pretty great.
I was teaching her a couple things. I was trying to explain that unlike skiing where you're just leaning back the whole time and just turning left or right, you go 4 different ways. Really, for anybody who hasn't done it before, just kind of rest your feet on the board, and then once the boat starts to pull, you push down with your heels, and that'll flip the board up to your feet, and then you just kind of stand up from there.
We were trying to learn how to surf without the rope, and then we were trying to figure out how to go long enough without the rope to make a full run, and then we just started getting on YouTube and looking up what the tricks that people were doing, and we realized that most of those kids were about 100 pounds lighter than us, and so it just gave us a little extra drive to try to do what those kids were doing on the board. We still can't, but we can do a lot more tricks now than we could at the beginning.
That was awesome. I've never wake surfed ever before, but I loved it.
There was a time that I was a little concerned that skiing was going to go away back in the 80s. Not many people were skiing. They started riding the wave runners and the jet skis, and nobody really seemed to be interested in skiing. And then all of a sudden wakeboarding started and this surfing, and now there's been a resurgence of a renewed interest in a sport out on Grand Lake. And it does my heart good to see a lot of these kids out here enjoying the skiing and the surfing and the wakeboarding.
Grand Lake is the only place I've skiing. I don't really know any other place, but it's wonderful.
There's nothing like coming up behind a boat, the wind in your hair and in your face, the spray in your face, If you get tired of standing up behind the boat skiing, just fall and cool off. It's all good.
It's a great feeling being out on the water, and you're always out here with your friends, and you're just hanging out, and It's a good way to throw your cell phone in the glove box and get away from the world a little bit and just be out on the lake. There's really nothing better.